Hey, I'm Dan, and tonight I'm Jones and with
Man. And tonight we're jonesing on Kura the Whisky.
and we're excited.
All right, so Dan, first of all, let me say thank you. Glad to have you here in, I don't know what to title this studio that we have.
It's a studio.
Let's call it Bone Chicka Wong Wong Island.
It's a studio.
Okay, right now. And, because for my viewers, Dan is the one that graciously introduced us to Jefferson Old Rum Cask Finish.
That's right.
So we owe, this is where we go.
We have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we had to have you on. Hopefully to have you on a couple more times and, expose us to, because you're the Scotch guy.
Could be. I'm one of the Scotch guys.
One of the Scotch
Not the.
Yeah, you are the Scotch guy that I know, because you're the only person crazy enough to drink it.
That's good.
No.
I'll take it.
Now, this is not a Scotch. It's a Japanese whiskey.
That's correct.
But I always say that Japanese whiskey is modeled after Scotch.
Yeah.
In many instances.
Yeah.
And this Cura, it's a newer release from a new house. I'm trying to think of Helios.
Yep.
I don't know if it's Helios or Helios.
How about this? I'll say Helios, you'll say Helios.
Okay, Helios.
That way it's a 50-50 shot.
So from the house of the Helios Distillery, I can't even talk tonight.
That's okay.
Helios Distillery. I guess the owner, master distiller, is Masuda, and he wanted to kind of in Okinawa.
Right.
He wanted to make sure that that his distillery was giving back to the community. He started out making a rum, and I guess the rum barrels were then used for his venture into the world of whiskey.
Yep.
So I think I'm not even gonna say. Y'all know how I feel about Japanese whiskey. You know how I feel about Scotch. So I do like rum. This is the reason why I bought this. This is a fifth. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I looked online and I think it said $130. Yeah. And I don't believe I paid $130.
Right.
But maybe I did. Or maybe I was, had a good night going on and I paid $130 for it. So I'm probably going to regret.
Which was probably the case. Let's all be honest.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So I know that you know a lot about all kinds of things, and
all kinds of things.
All kinds of whiskey.
Let's talk about all sorts of things.
Whiskey, that type of thing. And did you happen to know anything about Cura, or from a Japanese whiskey standpoint that you want to fill us in?
Yeah, I mean, just Japanese whiskey in general, they are like all over the map with certain flavors. I've noticed with a lot of them, they err on the sweet side. And I've had some Japanese whiskeys that you could literally pour over some pancakes. I mean, it was super sweet.
Yeah, I haven't had any of those yet. But
yeah. I mean, and you probably would like it. And I enjoyed some of them. Some of them are a little too sweet. But there's always this precision in the way that they make it that's just so heavily incorporated in their culture. It's just very precise type of whiskey. And I'm interested to see if this holds to that. And also, I think this will be the first Japanese whiskey that'll be at least heavily peated.
Okay.
Which I'm very much so looking forward to. You probably aren't looking forward to that.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I did see that it was listed as that this is the first Japanese whiskey finished in rum barrels.
Yeah.
And I can see that because I don't think I've ever even had a Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
Buying this bottle has now put me on the search for Japanese rum.
Yeah.
And it has put me on the search for Japanese rum.
Yeah, when I looked up this distillery and looked up some of their rums, I mean, apparently they're pretty good at doing rum.
Yeah.
So this was probably finished in a good rum barrel. It just depends on how well they mixed it all.
Yeah, so let's do what we do, which our house rules is. You see I open it. Cool. I mean, it's not a super fancy bottle, but
it's a standard Japanese.
I was going to say, I think it's still.
And I bet you it's not going to have a cork in it because a lot of them are twisted.
Twist off. All right, let's see. See?
I won the bet.
He knows a lot about everything.
What did I win?
You win one shot of Cura.
I'm happy with that.
Made a little mess. That's okay.
It's all right.
I think it's the shape of this bottle or either my pouring hand.
I think it's both.
A little bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of both. And it smells, the aroma.
Yes. I mean, that's just filled up our space right here.
Okay, so two things.
Yes.
One, at a distance, I smell reminiscent of rum.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I went in for a whiff, and I smelled Scotch.
Yeah.
all day long. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you smell?
Wow. Yeah. So it's interesting because whenever you're getting the nose of a I love you. Whenever you get in the nose of a whiskey, it's whenever you want to get the higher notes, when you smell higher in the glass, that's what you'll get. And so the same thing with distance, you'll get the higher notes, which will be those rum sweet notes from a distance. That's what's going to come to your nose. Now, when you get in, that's when you start getting that earthy peatiness, and you get that real smoky kind of sense. And I mean, this thing.
This is
you could smell the barrel.
This is oaky. I don't even know if this is oak or hickory. This smells like something I would put on the grill to make my steak taste a little more flavorful.
This is gonna. I'm anticipating this to be quite peaty because you could definitely get that. It's a campfire.
So how can I stall a little?
You can have me talk about the nose a little bit more.
Okay, so. Well, I also want to add that, of course, as we go along with this, once we get our tasting out of the way and we kind of rate it on a scale of 1 to 5.
Sure. 5
being we love it. I'm working on buy more.
Right.
Or 1 being I might push this bottle off the table and just let it go, which I won't do that, but just in case.
I mean, for dramatic effects.
For dramatic effect, yeah. No. If I did pay $129, we're definitely not going to do that.
That's right.
But and then any social media, what you got going on, we'll get you to share, and also what I like to call the tipsy tale.
Oh.
Which is, a night you went out drinking, something happened, just kind of exploring that option with us.
I have a perfect story for you.
So good. So now let's nose it. I think we pretty much.
I think we got
This is super peaty. This is a hickory. I mean, like wood chip kind of.
Oh yeah.
It's not the typical ashtray odor I get.
I love your descriptive.
Hey, look, I just want people to understand where I'm coming from.
That's perfect because you always get these very pretentious sort of.
No.
It was like a puff of smoke.
Yeah, no, it was no.
This smells like an ashtray, actually.
But this is more hickory.
I agree with that, and I think that's because of the sweetness of the rum. Kind of mixes with that oak and makes it smell like a hickory.
So around here, let me get you to spin.
Oh,
that's important.
See, product placement.
That's right. Around here, we say click them and drink them.
I would love to do that. Click them and drink them.
Click them and drink them.
I know you hate this. I'm kidding. That is interesting. Oh my gosh. That is very interesting.
Okay. Let's bring out the ice. Wow, we'll hold it. We'll bring out the ice.
That is interesting.
I'm going to throw us a little bit over there. Got a little water in there, so no telling. I feel like I should pour a little bit more.
Oh, please, by all means.
Swirl it around. I get none of the peat.
Now, the peat disappears, and whenever you typically add a tremendous amount of water or ice to whiskey, you're always going to get spike levels of the barrel, so very vanilla or any of the barrel kind of smells.
Yeah. It's a little, I don't want to say fruity, because it's not really fruity.
If anything,
but
dried fruits.
That's what you're saying. Something that is of the fruit family.
Yeah.
But not tomatoes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right.
Get tomatoes.
Clink them and drink them. So, Dan, I'll let you go first.
Please do, because I have much to say. I am actually surprised. Like I was telling you earlier, there's a lot of mixed reviews on this whiskey, and I don't know if I had the bar set low or what was going on, but it's not bad. It really is not, and I feel like, neat, you definitely get that peatiness. You definitely get that bourbon-esque to it as well, and then you get that rum finish where it's a little sweetened at the end, which is nice. I'm telling you, on the rocks, though, that takes any harshness that you would perceive in this neat glass is gone completely on the rocks. And I feel like people that aren't a fan of this neat, if they were to just try it on the rocks, I feel like that's not a bad sipping on the rocks whiskey.
Yep.
It's a good dram. A wee good dram.
A wee good dram.
A wee good dram.
Yeah. So, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you rate it?
Let me drink it from the bottle. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. I'm going to say I would give it a 3.
Okay.
It's not. Oh my God, this is the most incredible thing I've said, but it's not horrible either. And I feel like to new people drinking whiskeys and want to get into the peatier, like Isla scotches, I would say this is a great transition because this has all the characteristics of a Highland Scotch, which is the sweetiness, the creaminess, and it pairs it with the Isla scotches. And I would think that it's a perfect one for somebody to try.
Well, let me ask you one more question. What is your preference? Is it on the rocks or is it neat in
This particular?
This particular.
It depends on the time. So I'm someone that really likes to sit down, get a nose, and really try the complexities out. But like I was telling you earlier, if I'm just having just hanging out with a couple of guys and we're just shooting the breeze, I'd say on the rocks, man, because it's just an easy drink and it does the job, and it's still good.
It's 40%.
Yeah,
40% by volume. Yeah. I didn't say that. Okay, so
what are your thoughts?
Neat. It was not bad.
Yeah,
it was not bad. Literally, I was like, okay, hold my nose, take my breath, go ahead, and it is semi-sweet. I don't necessarily say sweet.
I wouldn't give it a full sweet.
It's got some sweet tones in it.
Yeah. There
is a hickory, oaky, peatiness, but I'm not even going to say peaty because when I think peat, I think the straight out the ashtray peat. Yeah. And then I think this is...
The nose is deceiving.
This is adjacent to peat. I can tolerate this. If this was my first taste of Scotch, I would not have the hate that I do. Not that I got hate. The strong dislike that I have for Scotch.
Which is the definition of hate.
Okay. I like this. On the rocks, man, this, I could drink this with no problem. Mm-hmm. It actually is reminiscent of like some aged rums. Mm-hmm. I thought for a second aged tequila, but it doesn't have the agave taste.
Definitely doesn't.
Not the agave, but just
like a mezcal where they have that kind of
that
like barrel.
The smoky part of it. Yeah. Exactly, like a mezcal.
Sure. Yeah.
And I kind of want to, because the studio that we're in right now, I would like to really taste this again on an ice ball.
I agree.
To get the chilling, but I feel like we got so much water that was in there, and I swear we waited no time. Sure. But if you ever needed a commercial for having whiskey stones, whiskey balls, this is it. Because I want to say in 4 minutes, the time for us to set up, put the ice in the glass, there's a ton of water in here.
Yeah.
And I can put my whiskey ball in and go through, if I'm drinking the same thing, 2 or 3 drinks and really not even make a major dent.
Yeah.
Unless I'm drinking something higher proof.
The only thing I think that would be very differently in taste with the whiskey ball is like I said, I think we would get more of that hickory wooden kind of taste.
It's very muted on the rocks.
Yeah.
But when I say it's muted, it's still there.
It's still there.
And I like that. It lingers.
It does. Yeah. It does. It has a longer finish. It doesn't just finish abruptly. And like I said, that sweetness kind of just keeps going down your throat. So it's nice.
I kind of want to, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
You just had to one-up me, didn't you?
Yeah. And the reason why is I wanted to go 3.
Right.
But I felt like I had to go a little bit beyond so that people knew that, no, I have a strong disdain for most Japanese whiskeys.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm saying I can really drink this, I don't want to say 4 because I'm probably not going to buy another bottle.
Right.
Especially if it's $129. So I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
But if somebody has it at their bar, I'd be like, yeah, this is what they have. I won't be, let me go on my bag and get my little mini bottles that I bought with me. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, okay, I might drink it neat.
I would go as far as to say that if it was priced at a different price point, I would change my rating. And so my rating had to do with the pricing as well.
I feel like it wasn't $129.
But if it was, there's a lot of very good scotches and whiskeys out there in that price range. I mean, just tremendous.
All right, so let's also do it on that. Let's say this was $60.
See, okay, that changes. If it was 60, I would probably change it up a point to 4.
You're
just
beautiful.
because at a $60 bottle, if that was so, was it $60?
No, I mean, no. Here's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I started, I felt like, okay, I think this was $60.
Yeah,
And then I went online to look
and it said
to see, and it said 129, and I was like, no.
he blacks out from time to time. It's just
I was like, I really like it. May be 129 now
sure.
because I bought this last year.
Yeah,
And it may be 129 in some locations.
Sure.
But I really feel like I paid $60 for it.
yeah, and alcohol pricing is very difficult
Across
to put
the
your
state,
finger on.
yeah.
Yeah, because it could change. I mean, it does change. So yeah, $60. I would give that a 4. I would say enjoy it. I mean, that's a $60 really good whiskey. And that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Now $120 or $129.99. Like I said, there's a lot of.
I'm going to do a strong wager and
Yeah.
say it wasn't even $100.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that night, I believe
You're
I
all
bought,
over the map now.
I mean, no, I'm saying
Yeah.
I felt like it was 60.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say
I
that
feel like it would be a $60 bottle.
I feel like I paid
Yeah.
60 because I also bought Yamasaki 12 that night.
Sure.
And that Yamasaki was 100.
Yeah.
And I don't remember spending. I bought some other stuff, and I think that was like maybe a $200 ABC
The
trip.
facts are that this is technically a blended whiskey. It's a very young whiskey.
Yeah.
And so to have it at that price point, I doubt that.
Yeah.
So I think you're right.
Yeah,
It's got to be a $60 whiskey, and in that case, definitely, that's a good buy.
because it doesn't say the agent, and if I find the agent, I'll get it on there. So.
I don't believe that there's an age. I know that it tastes. You could taste the youngness in the fruit and the different things that you have in there. So
Okay. So, as always, while we are sipping, you want to tell us a little bit about what you got going on, any social media that you want to share,
absolutely.
and hit us with a tipsy tale.
I will hit you with that tipsy story I have for you. So first of all, again, my name is Dan Kazda, and I am a voiceover artist. You could find me on Instagram at DK Vocal, where you could follow a guy that's kind of funny. I think I'm funnier than I am.
Yeah, probably, but
Absolutely. I laugh at my jokes, and that's all that matters in life.
That's all that matters.
My tipsy story, I actually love telling this one. My wife and I were vacationing in Charleston, and I get seasick incredibly easily. I mean, if I go on a swing, and I'm on a swing with a kid, oh my gosh, like I feel like for the rest of the day, I'm out for the count. So anyway, so I had, was it Dramamine?
Yeah.
Dramamine? How do you pronounce it?
Dramamine,
yeah. So I had that, and I didn't realize you're not supposed to drink while having that, right?
Yeah. So let stop the story. Any pill that you take, you're really probably not supposed to take with alcohol. Continue your story.
Yeah. So,
where
were you at that time to tell me that?
Side note for everybody.
And I can't even say, oh, that's before YouTube and Google. I could have Googled it. Anyway, or just read the bottle right in front of me. So we're out for dinner, and there's this drink called Voodoo Juice, and it has, like, everything in it, every alcohol. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to try that. So they serve it. My wife doesn't drink. So they serve it, and it's in this bucket. So it's clearly for a table of friends.
Yeah.
And so it came with 4 straws and a giant bucket. And so what do? I put all 4 straws together and drink the whole thing.
Okay.
I was incredibly inebriated. My wife I had to literally lean on her arm. I mean, the entire way home. The only thing I remember is walking into the hotel and the hotel hallway just doing this.
Yeah.
And then I passed out. And then I woke up a little bit later, and I asked if we had dinner. And Krista was like, we had dinner
yesterday.
Much earlier.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So
welcome to Tuesday.
Yeah, welcome. A year later, I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, yeah, that's normally how they kind of play out. So, again, be sure to subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Jones and Mann. And, thanks, Dan, for joining us.
Absolutely.
To you, my friend. Jones and Mann.
Jones and Mann.
Clink 'em and drink 'em.
Absolutely.